Hello and welcome. You're just joining me for a gingerbread latte. Now we've just come back from Whitby and we had all the issues with the battery charger and the snapped alternator belt and all that. But anyway, that's all sorted. Moving on to the next video, and this video is about how modifications for the diesel air heater that you saw me install a few weeks back. Just have a sip of this. Now, you saw me installing the main port air duct into that air box and then off into my existing air ducts, and I wasn't overly happy with that. That box gets very hot. I mean, you can't touch it. And I didn't really like it because all it's doing, that air is going into that box and it ain't until the air's rolled around in there and it has to find its own way out that then it goes through the duct. So I'm getting very low air efficiency out of all my ducts. It's just nothing major. So I looked at other options. Could I modify it? Could I make my own air duct? Because I've got 42mm air ducting all through the van, and of course that's 75 on that thing. So I had to go out making my own, and just as I was about to take it into work and get it all fully tigged up so it's all nice and neat, I thought I'll have a quick look at the internet, and I found a different manifold that goes on the front of your heater, and it arrived yesterday morning. So what it is, it's a 4-way port, 42mm. That just clicks off the front of your diesel heater, the 75mm one. You click that on, you put your 42mm piping around it, and then it should have high efficiency because the air is being blown straight out and it's not just filling a box and resonating around and finding its own way out. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to get this fitted. I'm going to show you guys exactly how I do it. Okay guys, so this is our existing setup. So we've got the heater there with this front on it. I don't know if you can really see it, it's getting dark now. It's with this front on it for the 75mm air duct, and it comes through there, through the seat base and into this box that I gutted out. Then it comes out of there to these ports, and I've got 2 more there, but I'm going to tee them off from one port, and then it goes off then in around the, like, you got back door, front of the bed, and then the shower. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to totally remove this. That isolator valve that I got down there for the floor, I'll just put between these 2 pipes so that I can still isolate the floor, and then basically it'll come off onto some more of this aluminium convoluted pipe, and then I'll come through here and then I'll chop it into these pipes here, and then hopefully by the time it comes to this bit it should have lost quite a bit of heat so it doesn't melt this. And this is ABS plastic, it's not UPVC or anything like that, it's ABS plastic, and it does withstand quite a bit of heat but not loads, if you know what I mean. So I'm hoping it goes alright. If not, I'll put some longer convoluted pipes and I'll joint on back here, and it'll probably be neater to do that anyway. But that means I haven't got this box here or anything like that. It's just better, and it'll give me better airflow. Each pipe's getting its own lot of air, so to speak. So I'm going to get doing that, get the front of the heater taken off, and go from there. So I'll show you how I do that now. Alright, so I've took the covers and that off where I keep the heater, and you have to push these 2 little pins in here, and then the same on the bottom. I'm hoping I can just release those 2 and then tip it forward, because I don't want to have to remove the heater if I can help it. Now if I show you on the new one, see what I mean? Look, you got them 2 little pins that you push in, then it should just unclip. So, I'll get them pushed in, but first I've got to undo this Jubilee clip and then slide this heater ducting out of the way. Now I've got a horrible feeling that I'm going to have to cut some more of this out the back here. I don't think the 4 pipes will fit through there, so I'm going to just mark a square and then cut that. And I think this hole here I might get all 4 through there, so I'm not too worried about that. But I don't think I will there because it's coming from a wider point, and I don't think it'll reduce down. I don't think it'll reduce down enough. So first of all, I'm going to get this out the way and get that front off, and then go from there. There we go, that's that out of the way. So I don't really want to have to remove that heater. Obviously if I have to, I have to. I want to try and do that without doing so. If I can't, because I'm not reusing the front of this heater, I can drill that out, and that should allow this then to slide forwards. But I'm going to see if I can just poke them in with a narrow screwdriver or something like that, and then hopefully tip that forward in order to get it out. Right, so I've got this sharp pick thing. I don't know if it'll do it. Yeah, right, so that's that. That's that one. Okay, so that's the one I've just taken off. 75mm bore, and I bought that. It cost me £8.16, I think, including postage. It did come from China. Couldn't find anywhere in the UK that sells them, but it's an identical size, so it just clips on, and it means you can use smaller ducting rather than having to use huge great ducting like that. It means you can fit it under your shower easier and things like that. So for the sake of buying an extra bit, it means you can run 2 pipes under your shower tray instead of 1 big one, things like that. So you've got different options of ducting and stuff like that. So that's why I've gone for the smaller stuff. So I'm going to try and click this in now, but like I said, I don't know if that's going to fit within that hole that I've put in the seat base, so I might have to sort of make a stencil of this and sort of try and go around with a jigsaw, or I don't know, just cut a bigger hole or something. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'll have a go, see if I can get that fitted in, and then see what I need to do to get that to fit. Right, and the answer is no, I can't fit it in without cutting this seat back, which is a fear I thought I might have, but I'm not too concerned. It's not too difficult job. The hardest bit is fitting a jigsaw within this. Like I said, I really didn't want to take that heater out again because it's all been sealed in nice and neatly. I could screw a piece of wood along across there to use as a centre, and then take the heater out and come in from that side and use a big hole saw and just have a huge hole in the back. Or I can see if I can get a jigsaw in there and jigsaw the shape of the hole that I need. I don't really know. I'm hoping I haven't got to get down any lower than that, because obviously the jigsaw is going to struggle. Failing that, I've got an air hacksaw that I might use. So we go from there. I'm not panicking. Alright, so I'm just removing the heater box. I've removed these 2 pipes already and done them. That's my one-way valve to isolate the underfloor heating. I'm going to shorten these pipes down and put it between the 2 so I can still use the valve on the front to isolate the floor. But I'm going to get rid of this box. I know it helps with the underfloor heating, but it actually helps too much with the underfloor heating and not enough with the air heating. Slows the air heating down, it boosts the underfloor heating, but too much. The hydronic boiler, when that air heat is running as well, the hydronic boiler is rarely cutting in, and it's not good for boilers to cut in and out for a short period of time. They need to run at least 20 minutes, half an hour for them to be any beneficial to all the burners and stuff inside. So that's actually too good for my underfloor heating, having the air heating running through it as well. So what I might do is take all this out, clean it all up, put it back to standard, and see if I can't sell that. I don't know, I might even just throw it away, I don't know. So I'm in the process of just taking the heater out. I've leaked a little bit of coolant, I'm not too concerned. I've got my sponge for just getting the worst of it out. That's the only thing when you're dealing with hydronics, you're always dealing with a fluid, but times you have to deal with it, it's minimal. So I'll just undo these bolts that I've put down. I've left a lot of my tools at work, unfortunately, so I've got to use all my Heath Robinson tools, God, that I've got at home, and go from there. God. It's tight as tight, and tighter than tight. Right, see if I can find a proper Allen key. Hang on. Right, put an Allen key on it and a spanner on the end of the Allen key. See if I can. God, bloody hell, that is really is tight. Right, that's got it. I think. There we have it, guys. Got it out. Obviously saving a bit of weight by taking that out as well, so do without that now. I'll just mop this mess up before it goes too far and go from there. Now this bit of wood that I've covered in foil tape is actually glued to the floor. So obviously I can screw it to the floor with the underfloor heating in there and stuff like that. So it's all glued to the floor. I don't think I'm going to manage to get it off the floor. I'm going to have a go. Just because it's wood, I don't need to be carrying around. But if I don't, I'm not too worried. It can stay in there, it's under the seat. But I will have a go. Nothing major. So I've got the worst of it dried off. I'll then cut these back so they're out of the way and I know where I'm getting to. And then I'm going to have a go at taking this wood up then. So I'll see you soon. Just having a go at this, and it looks like it's coming up, but what I need to do, I think, is get like a paint scraper underneath there or something. Let me see what I've, oh, hang on a minute. Look at this. Look. I've got a long knife. You watch me take my fingers off now, live on camera. Right, I don't think I can do it. Right. It's close to coming out, but there's a bit that's, so I wedge that under there and it keeps my fingers well away then. I didn't like I'm scratching the head out the floor, but it's under the seat. And that's not, I need a really long blade. That's getting too thick here. that's not too bad. Just left some glue spots on the back. I feel better now that that's out actually. Right, just mop that up from under there. I can't remember what glue I used on here now. If it's no nails or some of the cheap glue, I don't know. I know I weren't particularly fussed if it broke free or not, but it did its job, didn't it? Comes off quite easy. Like I said, I'm not too concerned. It's under the driver's seat, the lounge seat. It is what it is, isn't it? Right, so got these bits of pipe trimmed down, and then I'll secure them some other way. I might even put another bend on there to bring that one out underneath. I don't know, I might even chop them further back and put a bend on so it comes more towards here. I'm going to see how far the other stuff I'll go reaches, and I've got a long extension for my hole saw, so I'm going to hole saw through here and into that metal of the seat base, so I'll get a nice neat hole then rather than a mangled around mess with a jigsaw. So that's it. Now I can get to this to properly clean out this glue off the floor. So I'll finish doing that, and then at least the floor looks, it comes up quite easy, look, once you get the blade underneath it. That's that, look. It just comes off. So it just comes off. You have to give it a bit of persuasion with the blade. I still haven't properly washed it out, but I can do that in a minute. Tell you what, this lino laminate floor, or vinyl laminate floor should I call it, it's out as nails. It really is. I mean, I was proper pulling on that and it didn't separate. I expected it to sort of burst from the joint, but no, it stood its ground. And I didn't glue it together. I just clicked it together as it said in the user manual. So I'd have definitely advised this stuff from Wix's. Not the lightest of stuff, but it is good stuff. You know, look, not scratched or anything. I'm probably going at that. Right, I've put a bit of wood across there so that when I use the hole saw, and I'm going to use the big hole saw that I used to go through the floor, the 135mm one. I've put a bit of wood in there so that the centre of the hole saw has got somewhere to locate, and I can hold that wood in place, and it should keep the hole saw pretty steady. And then once it starts cutting, it'll find itself anyway. So that's what I'll do now. I'll get that hole cut much bigger. I've got this long extension that goes on the end of my hole saw, so that'll go on there. When I'm in your way now, ain't I? That'll go on there like that, and that gives me a long distance, so I can come through from the bench seat, extend onto there, and then I can come through from the bench seat with my drill and drill my hole as big as I want. Right, boys and girls, watch your ears. I'm going to get ready with the hole saw, start cutting it. Just going to line it up. Quite happy with that there. There we have it, guys. So I just cut the bigger hole out. Now it looks like I've got some hoovering up to do. Clean out them burrs and then just put a bit of paint on them cut edges. I've got the front on, if you can see, it's all in there, all on. But the word I'm looking for here is bollocks. If you can see, that one there is just the wrong side of that. So I can either get my little finger sander out and just take a notch out there, which might be easier to do, and then I'll probably do a little notch out of this one as well here, and then that'll allow the pipes to come through. These two got loads of room, so I think if I can just square these bottom corners off with my little finger sander, that'll enable me then to get all my pipe work in and go from there. Okay guys, so I've squared off the bottom of that hole, as you can see, which then exposes the pipes. So then that means I can get all the pipes attached. If I'd have mounted that heater on square, I think it would have been alright, but I put it on the P to go into that expansion heat exchanger that I had in there. But hindsight's a wonderful thing. I was trying to be clever. But anyway, I've also put a bigger hole through the back of this seat to enable all 4 pipes to fit through into this into this bench seat. There will be a cupboard there that I might bring up to act as a bit of an armrest to the chair. I don't know, because I might do the driver's seat as a swivel seat yet and use it as a bed, even though it's only a 2-seater van, but it gives us an extra berth if we want it. So the next thing then is to get the pipes attached, so I'll make a start on doing that. Right guys, so I've got the 4 pipes connected there. I've still got to tighten that Jubilee clip up and put one on there. Then it comes through this seat. Then what I'll do is I will put a T-piece on this one eventually. Put some light on. There guys, you can see what you're doing. So there'll be a T-piece on this one, and it will tee off to this one and then go into there, so I end up with a vent either end of my seat again. So I still end up with 5 ports, because what it was, these 2 ones under the seat, they were getting all the power and the others weren't. So if I split that one in half, let it sort of even out about amongst them 2. But the airflow rate, I'm going to have to pick up my camera, is far more intense, so it's getting much more better airflow than what it was doing. So I've just now got to modify these pipes. I think what I might do is, I don't know whether to 45 degree off again and come along there, or actually go into the other seat and cut them and then join them with some straighter ones and then 45 degree over to here, because then what I can do is I can put wood in there and totally section off the pipes. That means I can pack stuff in there without fear of it damaging these pipes, because they are soft as anything. So that's what I might do, is go under the other seat, chop them off under the other seat, extend them out 45 degrees and then bring some more of this pipe over to these, and then it will keep them out of the way, giving me more storage space. So I'll do that next. I'll get some more piping and some more joints. I'm going to leave that running for a little while, just see how hot that gets. I think it'll be okay. I mean, that's proper hot now, and that aluminium pipe is proper hot. That's not overly hot really, so I think it might be alright there within piping. Yeah, that'll be much better. And I've got that running on flat out now, number 6. So see you in a bit when I get some more of this piping and stuff. Right guys, so I've started this about a week later. Today's task is I'm going to redo these pipes here so that they go round a bit more, so that I can box this in and I'm going to use it as an airing cupboard to store towels, dressing gowns and things like that. Because it's right next to the hot pipes, it's going to stay really warm under this section here. So that'll be our so-called airing cupboard, and that's where we store the shoes and things like that. So that'll be towels, dressing gowns and nice and warm things, and that'll be our shoes. So this top one here, that one goes into the shower. So I can take this straight off here, and I can just put a nice straighter one in to take me further over there. As where these lower down ones, I'm going to have to cut those. It's going to prove a bit difficult. I'll cut one further back and one here. So then if I cut them at the same length, I ain't going to be able to get to that bottom one. So I'm going to cut the bottom one about there and that one about there, and then the top one I'll completely remake. And then they'll come along to about here, so they'll be longer, 45 degrees across there, and then 45 degrees in. And then the pipes can go straight onto there and then round to the correct ducting, freeing off more space. Because at the moment, this space I can't use because there's too many pipes and stuff. So if I move it all out of the way, I can then have a functioning space. I might even, if I get a chance, to put a top on it, so I'd even get to put stuff on the top and totally box it in. And then the walls around there, I'll put holes in it like these seat bases. So the hot water from the hot air from the pipes go into the so-called airing cupboard. So that's my first port of call. Get these pipes cut down, and I'll see you in a bit. So there we have it. I've cut that one down, and I'll just use the hacksaw blade in my hand and just cut that one down and remove that top one. So I'll give that a hoover out of where the plastic cutting stuff is. And then I'll set about cutting my pipes to length to fit in there, and that'll be my next step. So I've done the lower one, I put a joint in there, it carries on, and I put 245 degrees because I want that to sit as low down in there as possible, and then that needs to crank over there. I'm going to neaten all these up, so don't ignore them for the time being. Then it comes over, and then another 45 degrees here, and then I'll shorten this down so that it pretty much comes straight across there, and then dog legs into that. I don't want to do a 45 degree there like that, because that corner will add a lot of resistance. So the smoother transition, like 45 degrees, will keep the airflow moving better. So I'm doing 45 to make a 90 up, if you know what I mean, to get that sharper bend, but it's doing it in two separate stages rather than one big hit. Because although that's nice and rounded, I just want to minimise the amount of turns at 90 degrees the air's doing. The straighter that air can keep, the more airflow it will do. So that's that one. They're not glued in place yet. I'm going to assemble them all and then mark them all with a Sharpie pen. And then I'll take them all apart and then glue them together. So I'll get on with the next one now. That one there is for the rear doors, to act like an air curtain between the rear doors and my side of the bed, so that it just blows hot air at the back. That next one is to Debbie's side of the bed, between the shower and the bed, and then that one there is direct into the shower unit. And then the other one that comes out, like I said, would tee off and go to these vents, one either side of the sofa. So I'll get doing the other one now and see you in a bit. Got the next one on. So the second one up, again, joined just there, come through the back of the sofa, around two more again, 45 degrees, just to lessen the blow in one go. Another 45 degree there. Again, I've still got to shorten these pipes down yet. So that's two of them done. I can't squeeze a third one under there for the shower to make it full at the same. I probably could actually, because I've got to change these anyway. And I'm going to mount this isolating valve for the underfloor heating on the side of that wall that comes around. So that cable will come in there and operate that valve. So I can screw mount this to the side of that wall that comes around. Yeah, it's looking quite neat, and when that goes, it means I've now freed up a cupboard under a sofa that I wasn't able to use before with that really great big heat exchanger that was thirsty on energy. The airflow is so much more improved, and when I get these running straighter, the airflow will be much more improved again. This stuff here, this plastic is ABS plastic. It's not UPVC, so it's got a higher melting point. Yes, it releases toxins when it starts to melt, but I'm not getting anywhere near that melting point, so the toxins that it's emitting is minimal. I have been warned about it and all that, so I have looked into it, and at the temperatures this thing's going to be running, I'm quite safe. So my next stage now is to have a bit of a figure out where I'm going to run that shower one to, whether I'm going to squeeze it under this one. I mean, it would be neater if I could squeeze it under there and have all three. It would be a lot neater. Let me have a think about it and I'll get back to you. Right, so I've got the shower port done. I've changed that more to 90 degrees. I know I said not to do that, but the shower room gets very hot, so the more I can slow that down will force more air through the rest. So it's actually worked in my favour. The only reason why I didn't use 45s there is because I haven't got any more 45s, but 90s would do me a favour. Like I said, it's going to slow down the airflow to the shower room, pushing more air out the rest, because they'll have less restriction. So that does that. That then comes along under this side and then to here. Got short on all these aluminium flexes ones down, and then I've got to route this nice and neat, but I'm going to wait until I get the cupboard walls in for, like I said, the airing cupboard, and then I'll hold the airing cupboard, like I said, like this, so that the towels, dressing gowns, things like that, they stay nice and aired from the hot pipes. Plus it means I can chuck stuff in there without damaging any pipes. I'm also going to box in this aluminium pipe, because I've noticed I've got a little dent in there already just from chucking shoes in. So I'll box that in at some point, and that will mean that I can just chuck stuff in there and I ain't got to worry about it denting the pipe. And I'll do the same on this bit as well. So that will give me a usable space now under the seat, because it's freed up where that heat exchanger box was, and that was quite heavy and it consumed a hell of a lot of power. Like I said, I'm pulling anywhere between 5 and 6 amps less using that diesel heater than I am that heat exchanger with a fan in it. That fan only gave me about 3 hours from a fully charged battery to empty if the solar weren't working, so at night I'd only get about 3 hours before it was depleted, the batteries. So I didn't like that fan. It great at airflow, it was very noisy, but I think this system works a bit better. Plus I can use that heater as a standalone system to my underfloor heating, to my water system. So each 3 systems can run independently with the use of valves and switches and God knows what else. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark with a Sharpie pen each pipe, so I know the orientation of it. I'll get glue them all in place, and then they'll be permanently in there then. It just looks a bit neater. Them pipes are very hot, but they're far from being soft, so they're coping with the heat nicely. I did try some UPVC piping and it just went soft, and I could squish it with my fingers and it just stayed in that shape, so that's no good. This ABS piping from Wickes for a 3 metre length, I think it was £8, something like that, £7.49, and then I bought a load of these 45-degree bends and a load of the straight joiners, and because it's smooth on the inside it creates less turbulence, not like this stuff. If you look in there, look, that's all convoluted inside. That adds air turbulence and restriction. This stuff is very smooth, so you get less air restriction, less turbulence, so you get better airflow. Right, so I'll get gluing them together and I'll see you in a bit. Right, so I've got all the pipes all glued in, I think you can appreciate it looks a lot neater. Got these shortened down so they're not all baggy everywhere, so it looks a lot better. Airflow is much better out the other end of the pipes. It's far more efficient now, pushing the air around, so it should make for a nice toasty van. And then along with the underfloor heating, there's no reason why I should ever be cold in this van. You know, the floor gets to 30 degrees, and these vents push out a decent temperature. The only thing I'm waiting on is my T-piece. I couldn't find a 42mm T-piece in the UK, so I'm just waiting for one to come from China. I was hoping to do it so that it came from there to one piece, and then these two had equal flow from one side to the other, but I'm quite happy for it to have straight across there and then into that one, because the T-piece does have like a deviation in there to push the air into that one as well as that one. I don't know, I'll weigh it up when the T-piece arrives as to which orientation I can do it, because like I said, I would like it to come into the bottom of the T, and then these port and this port have equal pressure side to side. So I'd like to do that really, but I ain't too fussed if I have to do it square onto the side like that. But yeah, as soon as that arrives, I'll get that fitted. My next port of call now is to see what I can do with these underfloor heating pipes, see if I can route them any better. I might disconnect that one and take it under the pipes, and then reconnect it. This cable, it's only half a metre, so it can't go that far from its orientation that it's in now. And I can take these Allen keys out and then screw it straight to the side of this wall that I'm going to create in there, like I said, and then that'll mount that nice and secure then, and the underfloor heating will come around there, and then that valve there isolates the underfloor heating. It switches it off, so it pushes more fluid towards the hot water side of it, or I could switch the hot water side of it off and push more towards the underfloor heating. So that's my next port of call. I'll get these mounted, get the walls put in, but I'll show you that in another video. Anyway, that about wraps up this air heater modification that I've done to help my airflow around the van, and it is significantly improved. I'm well happy that I've done it. It's freed up a little bit of a space in a cupboard that I couldn't use before, so now I've got use for a cupboard. But if you like what you've seen, please subscribe, and please share, and if you really feel like it, hit that little bell button and you'll get to see all our future videos. And on that note, we'll see you on the next one. Bye.